Okay, this meeting is called to order. It's Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. It's 2:32 p.m. In compliance with Public Law 24-109, Guam Ancestral Lands Commission published the public meeting announcement for Wednesday, February 8, 2023, in the Guam Daily Post on Wednesday, February 1, 2023, and Monday, February 6, 2023. Director, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chairman Eclavea,
Present.
Vice Chairman Laguardia. Mr. Chair, I don't see Vice Chair Laguardia online yet. Hopefully
Okay,
be
noted.
on soon. Secretary Treasurer Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Camacho,
Here.
Commissioner Orlino. Mr. Chair, Commissioner Orlino informed us via text that at this moment she should be on an airplane traveling between states, so she will not be able to log in.
Okay, noted.
Commissioner Rios
Here.
and Commissioner Wessling.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 5 commissioners present. You have a quorum.
So Jus Masi, Director. Okay, we move down to item number 3, approval of minutes. A, January 11, 2023, regular meeting summarization. And B, January 25th, 2023, special meeting summarization. Commissioner Westling, is that a hand up?
Yes, I have a question, Chairman.
Okay.
Are you calling us to approve the minutes separately or collectively together?
You can do it collectively or separately, but we've been doing it separately before.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of. I'm sorry. The minutes of that's January 11th meeting. Subject to corrections, if any.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the minutes.
I second that.
Okay, it's seconded by Madam Secretary. Mary. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No nays, Director? Motion passes. Director, I'd like to acknowledge that I think we have Vice Chair's presence. Okay, Director, let's move on to the agenda here.
You have the agenda of January 25th.
Okay. You move down to item 4, Executive Director's Report. Is that what it is, says? Let me see. 1 second, Director. I'm sorry.
You have special minutes from January. There was a special meeting on January 25th, 2023. You have another set of minutes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Westling, you only made the motion for one or both minutes. I thought you did for both.
That was, no, I'm sorry. You said that typically you do it one at a time, one
So you did.
minute at a time. So I only motioned to approve the minutes for the January 11th meeting, regular meeting. And I was going to say that I was going to abstain from voting on the January 25th special meeting minutes because I was not present at that meeting.
Oh, okay, understood. Thank you, Director.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Rios. Commissioner Rios?
yes, I would also abstain as well, as I was not present at that special meeting as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, but I'd like to advise the commissioners that there's nothing that requires you to abstain except your conscience that you weren't there. But I don't think under Robert's rules that there's any statement there, because you do have the minutes, you could read through it and whether you agree with it or not. I just want to put that out.
Okay, that's clear now. Thank you, Director. Okay, so we still have January 25th, 2023 special meeting summarization, the approval of that of the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion, Commissioner Cruz. Okay,
Okay.
my motion is to approve the January 2023 special meeting, subject to corrections for recordings.
Okay,
That was
Commissioner
January
Camacho.
25th.
January
25th?
25th.
Yes, 25th.
Okay, so I'm making that correction then.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the January 25th minutes. Commissioner Camacho?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Camacho. Since we have a couple of commissioners abstaining, I'll go one by one. Commissioner Camacho,
Approved.
Vice Chair Logania.
Verba.
Okay, Madam Secretary, Mary,
Approved.
and I approve. Director, motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we move on to item number 4, Executive Director's Report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Director?
Chair. Thank you. Okay, on the independent audit services, that'll be the RFP from Ancestral Lands 22-001. Currently, the audit contract between Ancestral Lands and the independent auditor, Ernst & Young. It's at the Attorney General's office. It's been there since January 26, pending approval to legality and form. And after the approval, the contract will be forwarded to the governor's office for final signature. Of course, this contract allows or provides GLC with independent financial audit services for 3 fiscal years with the option to renew or to add an additional year for the fiscal year 2025. So that would be the audit that takes care of that contract would be the would pay for the audit that is currently ongoing for the year 2022. And then, of course, for 2023 and 2024 with the option to renew 1 more year. I've informed the auditors, although they've already started moving on it, that because of the Guam procurement laws that I will not be held responsible, or I would not honor any invoices that they sent to us at this time until we have a final audit. So I'm aware that it's at the AG's office, and I believe our attorney Finney is the one reviewing it. So hopefully we'll get that out soon, because the initial date for the first draft is to be completed, or should be completed, by the end of this month, February. And then the final draft, according to the OPA's timeline, will be at the end of next month, March. So yeah, we're kind of on a timeline on that. So the quicker if our attorney can get that through the AG's office, the better, so that we could start working on more stuff. We're not ready to even sign the entrance for the auditors, although I do know that they're working on it, and we've been sending documents back and forth, but we're not signing anything that would obligate us at this point until we actually get a signed contract, final signed. So it needs 2 more signatures, the Attorney General's signature and the governor's. Until I receive that, I will not obligate Ancestral Lands financially. Okay, then we have another one that's come up. The old bill, it's the Land Bank Reform Act. It initially was under the last legislature, it was bill number 345-36. Now it's has been resubmitted by the governor with some minor changes to it. It's now bill number 23-37 COR. And this amends certain sections. It's very similar to the last one. It amends subsection K and adds a couple of new subsections O and P to basically chapter 80, title 21 of the Guam Code annotated. And it's basically to clarify the statutory mandate of the Ancestral Land Bank. There are 3 main goals of the bill. And that's to clarify the criteria for compensation and eligibility, to provide multiple funding streams, and to provide a means for claims to be calculated for distribution to the heirs. The bill is largely the same, like I said, of the last bill that was submitted in the last legislature. The new version of the Land Bank Reform Act includes an appropriation of $10 million to the Land Bank Trust Fund from the FY 2023 excess revenues, and an annual appropriation after that of $2 million from the general fund beginning in FY 24. So that would really help build up the land bank, so we would accumulate funds when we eventually get the rules and regs signed and ready to go. So pretty soon I'll be asking Attorney Finney to sit down and go over this bill and see what it may be lacking, if anything, as far as working on the land bank rules and regs, and what we have to do to work on that, and maybe amend or change things that of the rules and regs that were submitted to the AG's office back in 2017. So I'm hoping this gets, or our oversight chair, the speaker, will give us the opportunity to discuss this bill on the floor. And I know that as the bill was submitted, usually the way bills are submitted, they go through a process, and the process with the amendments at the end of it, sometimes the bill or that passes the legislature does not look like anything like the one that was submitted. but at least to get the conversation started. That's what we got to start working on, so we can move forward on this. So at least there's a bill there again. Okay, and then we're working on, and we should soon have something to discuss with the AG's office. We'll send it first to our attorney Finney for her take on it, and that's the proposed MOU for legal services. And the other one was a transfer of funds to the investment firms. I know this was approved the last time around, and we have the hard copies here. All we have to do is print out the hard copy from BGIS. It seems like our attempt to do a DocuSign has failed. And so because of that, I asked them to send or email me a copy that we can print out and have our officers, and that would be our secretary treasurer and our chairman, to come down and sign these documents. Account numbers have been assigned to them, but I cannot do any wire transfer to BGIS or Raymond James unless those the accounts are set up. So Mr. Chair and Mrs. Secretary Treasurer, I need, when you can come into the office, as soon as you do that and sign both documents, I'll send them out to the two investment firms, and we'll set up our accounts, and we'll wire transfer the funds to them. And I've already transferred the funds into our savings account, so we have the funds available now. It's just waiting for the account numbers to be approved. I already have the numbers, but I can't do the wire transfer till all of that's completed. And for that, I sent you also a copy of the ancestral lands bank balances. That has changed a little bit after today, when I transferred funds to the out of the CD accounts into the savings account. So we have well over 8 million, almost $9 million in savings account, more than enough to transfer $8 million out to the investment firms for them to invest for us. So currently we have in there just short of 15.8 million, just short by $4,000. So we'll be hitting that number very soon. Okay, so that's all I have to report. Thank you for this opportunity to provide this update. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Mr. Chair.
Okay, so just Masi, Director, any questions? Board? Okay, Director, regarding the signatures for the
Yes.
is that a different instructions compared to what we were supposed to open up on our email, or is that
It will resolve the issue. It's exactly the same material.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if you were able to read it and all that, it's exactly the same. I provided all the information for them, and in case there's some.
No.
Yeah.
I couldn't open up anything. I couldn't. I couldn't open up any. I got 2 emails, and the second one I canceled.
Yeah, it would cancel if one of us had an error in filling it out. It would cancel for all of us. So yeah, so I told them that to bypass that, just send a hard copy over, and
oh, good.
we'll
Okay, so this would solve it if we just came in and did the
just came in and
there.
signed the document rather than doing
Okay.
a DocuSign. We'll do an actual wet signature.
Oh,
on
very
each
good.
one.
Okay, very good, Director.
Okay, so it's just waiting. As soon as you arrive, I'll set up the wire transfer once they set up the accounts. So we're just
Okay,
ready
very
to
good.
go.
So just Masi, thank you, Director. Any other
Okay.
questions on the Director's report? Okay, no further questions.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, let's move down now to item 5, Gita progress report. Gita?
Hafade, good afternoon, Chairman
Oh, there's
Acovea.
Tony.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chairman Acovea, Vice Chair Laguanya, and all GALC board members, and all the other members, GALC Executive Director Burns, and your staff. Good afternoon. My name's Tony Ariola, presenting Gita here today. Along with me is Megan, which is one of our program coordinators. And later on, we're going to be having Our Northern Market Rep, Mr. Leonard Caldwell, who will be addressing the commission in regards to Northern Markets lease, along with the Farmers Co-op, Mr. Mike Uggan, the president, and his FCHG board members who will be addressing the commission regarding Farmers Co-op. I'm here today before you to prevent the GITA monthly progress report. By the way, my name is Tony Ariola representing GITA. Half a day. The following is a progress report on GITA's efforts to manage land bank trust properties as required by Section 1 of the MOU between GITA and the GALC Land Bank Trust. First one on the list is Weddingale Junction, that is Northern Market LLC. Their monthly rent of $27,854.51. Their outstanding balance as of February 6, 2023 is $1,522,086.18. There's a few revisions on Northern Market. Their total deferred, undeferred, and interest due as of October 31, 2022 is the amount of $1,466,377.16. There was a payment received on January 4th, 2023 in the amount of $55,709.02. There was also a payment made today of the amount of $27,854.51. Just one revision of this, and the like I said earlier, Mr. Leonard Caldwell will be addressing the commission later on in regards to Northern Markets lease. Moving on down to the second tenant on the list is Apra Harbor Parcel 1. That's Quick Space with their monthly rent of $3,989.13 with an outstanding balance of $0. And their last payment received was on January 17, 2023. Apra Harbor Reservation F12 Matson, their monthly rent of $27,733 with an outstanding balance of $0. Their last payment was received just today. Next one on the list is Lot Apra Harbor Reservation F12R2. That's a tenant Trans Steel. Their monthly rent of $500 with an outstanding balance of $8,900. Their last payment received was on January 30, 2023 in the amount of $600. Tengisan Cable Landing Station, Dededo, that's Route 3 with AT&T. Their monthly rent of $20,939.42 with $0 outstanding balance. And their last payment was received via ACH on January 3rd, 2022. Next one on the list is Lot Apra Harbor Reservation F12, which is the Polaris Point, Smith Bridge, Guam. Their monthly rent of $8,800. There's a revision on that due to them making a payment just today. So that makes their outstanding balance to $0. Lot 10155-1, that's Farmers Co-op Association of Guam. Their annual rent due from their calendar year 2021 with an outstanding balance of $4,822.32. We're also pending their CY 2022 financial statements to determine their annual payment due for May 2023. Moving on down to Teason Properties, that's the Guam Environmental Protection Agency building. Their monthly rent of $8,000. There's also a revision on that. Their outstanding balance is $248,000. You know, I just want to inform the commission that as of February 6, we got word from GITA that they're going to be remitting via ACH an amount of $32,000, which amounts to 4 months of rent. So we're just waiting for a payment to be remitted from them. Moving on down to Department of Public Health Social Services, that's the WIC building. Their monthly rent of $8,400 with an outstanding balance of $54,299.35. Their last payment received on December 16, 2022, in the amount of 16,800. Also, with DPHSS, they indicated via email on January 30, 2023, that they received certification of funds for fiscal year 2023 and is processing the amount of 42 grand, and it will be remitted soon. Spending payment. Other items in the list with the investment committee. The investment policy statement was approved by the GALC Board Commission on January 11, 2023. And also the GALC Board Commission approved to transfer the funds of the amount of $8 million from the GALC funds and to be invested with the two listed brokerage firms to be divided equally. I believe 4 million to be invested with RJ and the remaining 4 million with BGIS. And this was also approved on the January 11, 2023 board meeting. F12 Polaris Mitigation Plan. We're still pending the mitigation plan and the scope of work and budget from Smith Bridge Guam. And this concludes the latest report for GIDA Monthly Progress Report. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Questions, board members? Tony, I got a couple of questions real quick. Regarding, can you just summarize real quick again, just for the board, the issue with that balance with GEPA regarding that 248,000? And then the second one would be the 42,000 that's being processed by WIC.
Sure, the one for Guam Environmental Protection Agency. They're
Yeah,
outstanding.
that 200. Yeah.
Yeah, outstanding balance is 248,000. And we were just informed on February 6th that they're going to be remitting 4 months payment of $32,000. So we'll be getting the payment anytime soon. I don't have a definite date, but they assured us that we will be getting the payment soon. With
Okay.
also,
Well,
go ahead.
are you still in that on GEPA?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
we're good. We're good. Did you have a question, Chairman Aclavera?
Yeah, regarding that, I guess they still have about a couple more years, right? I guess up there at Tizen, and before they are ready to move out to their new their new development office spaces, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. How again are we treating the balance of this the outstanding balance?
From
How's
what I
the
was
situation?
right from what I was told by the ASO, Ms. Connie, they're currently pending receipt of federal funds, and they said upon receiving, they're going to be making their monthly lease payments. They do
Okay,
receive, yeah.
I understand that the monthly lease, but the balance is still, even if they remitted 42, we're still almost 200,000 in that. So if they just continue making the monthly payments, there's that balance, and that's that big question mark there for years.
Well, what it is when I spoke to Mr. Walter Leon Guerrero, their DEPA administrator, he assured us that they are going to be paying that off, but he didn't mention
Oh,
when.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He assured you that they're gonna be paying that balance off. Okay.
And,
Okay. I guess federal funds, right?
that's correct. And I think we've had this problem in the past, and
Yeah. That's why I said it's going on for years already, and it's like, I think the issue kind of like faded away in the back of our minds. So we just wanted to get a quick. Okay, can you move on to WIC? It looks like they'll have a balance of about 12,000, I guess, or something like that. 14.
$54,299.35.
But after
Mhm.
they make the 42,000, it'll be what?
They'll have a balance of like 12,000 plus.
Oh, cool. So we're gonna be expecting a $42,000 check.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
They said anytime soon, maybe within a week or so.
Okay, so just Masi, Tony. Thank you. Any
Welcome.
further questions for Gita? Commissioner Wessling.
Thank you. Tony, as always, thank you very much for your reports each month and keeping us abreast on what rents have come in and what payments rather have come in and what is still outstanding. I would really appreciate it if Gita could please let us know based on each account up through what month have payments been collected. And when I say up through what month, it's basically when each payment was applied to which outstanding month. I'd like to see an idea as to that. For example, I'll just use Trans Steel. Okay, they keep paying $600 a month to Gita, and I'd like to know that brings them current up to what month? Okay, because they have an outstanding balance of $8,900. So the payment that was received on January 30th, what month was that applied to? Because then that gives me an idea as to how long, how far back that they are outstanding, and also the calculations or applications of late fees, if any, okay, if any, is due from all of our tenants, to show what the true balance is. Okay, if there were any late fee to be calculated or interest or penalties per the licensing.
All right, we'll do that, Commissioner Wilson.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wessling.
We
Good
have-
suggestion. Commissioner Rios?
Yeah, just also wanted to add to that, Tony, thank you very much for your report. You always do a very thorough job of that. Appreciate it. Just wanted to add, is there something that we can do from our end? You need some kind of letter of some kind of support to help maybe facilitate some of those concerns you might be having with that account with GALM EPA. And please feel free to reach out. I'm sure there's something we could do to attach for some of the concerns we have. Maybe we could put it on a letterhead of some sort from Guam ancestral lands, that we are a bit concerned about being that far behind, and it's a substantial amount. So just wanted to know if there's anything you need from us, please, Tony, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Appreciate that. We'll let you know.
See any further questions for Tony and Gita? Okay, no further questions. Let's move on. Thank you, Gita. Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you as well to everyone.
Okay, we move down to item number 6, old business, A, Northern Market. Northern Market.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr.
I
Chairman.
see
Chairman.
Leonard Calvo.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, Leonard Calvo's online.
okay, is Mr. Calvo going to
Hey,
address
Mr.
the board?
Chairman.
Hey,
I'm
buenas,
here with
Mr. Calvo.
How you doing, and all your commissioners? I'm here with Carlos Camacho, who just returned. So we were both on my Zoom watching. So Carlos is here.
Buenas, Carlos.
Hey, Mr. Chair, I just returned from Arizona.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So Carlos can give you a little bit report on some of the status, and I will give you more on the development and leasing side. Carlos,
Yeah,
let me get your chair.
Oh, wow. You got it?
Yeah.
Mr. Camacho and Mr. Calvo, could you please turn your video on?
Oh, okay,
Thank you.
1 second.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We're-
Okay, Mr. Caldwell, I guess you guys are still setting up? Yeah, board members, I think they're still in the process of of hooking up.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Wesson?
do we want to wait for them or do we want to move on to another item on the agenda to allow them more time to prepare for their presentation?
Good question, Director.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you were to amend the agenda, then somebody would have to make a motion. To move forward.
Well, let's check with hello, Carlos or Mr. Calvo, can you guys hear us? Okay, somebody make the motion and we'll go ahead and move the item B up, and then we'll just give them time to set up. We need a motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion to
Okay.
amend our agenda today for February 8th regular board meeting agenda to move up under item number 6, old business, item B, legal counsel updates and litigations, to item A, and to move Northern Market to B under old business.
Second.
I second that.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Okay, so we're on to item B, legal counsel updates litigations. Northern Market is moved down to B. Okay. Director?
Hey, yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Basically, what we wanted was for Attorney Tough to provide us with the information on some of the cases that we asked him. I'm not sure if he had transferred all of that to Attorney Finney. And if not, then I guess we'll have to ask for a continuance on this if Attorney Finney's not ready for them, and I could resubmit them to her. I was hoping that Attorney Tough would have done all of that and would have provided this update to our new attorneys. Attorney Finney, did Attorney Tough provide you with anything? Any of the requests that we'd submitted to him?
No, I'm not aware of that request. And also, I'm not assigned any of the, so if there's any litigation matters, that would be a different person. That would be Sandra Miller at the Attorney
Okay.
General's office. And so if there is litigation, we can request for her to be present at the next meeting, and then she could update you on any litigation matters. But I'm not aware of any of the status of anything to be able to report back to you.
So in matter of fairness, Mr. Chair, I think we would request a continuance for that. I know we're getting kind of close to the cutoff date. I see Attorney Bischoff is here. I know he has a lot of things that he may want to add to this. But Mr. Chair, decisions with the commissioners.
So that decision would be to what again, Director?
Continue until the next meeting, the next regular meeting. That would be on March 8, 2023. We'll move the issue of legal counsel updates and on litigations to that part. Attorney Finney, in
Okay.
all fairness, is not prepared for this, and neither will be Attorney Cruz Miller. Apparently, Attorney Toft may not have transferred any of their requests.
Shouldn't have
documents.
Attorney Miller been notified of the hearing, this particular subject matter? Shouldn't she have been notified and been here for this meeting?
Kathy, was the invitation sent out? Kathy, you're on mute.
Yes, it was, sir. The notice and the meeting packet was forwarded to Sandra Miller as well.
So I
So
guess, Christian, our legal counsel, what's the take with that? She should have been here for this hearing.
Yeah, yes, but I would believe that she might not have been brought up to speed on any litigation matters that you have at this time. And so so she might not have like she would have been here had she had something to report. So that's what I think, that that maybe just in transition, she's just not yet aware, not yet up to speed on what, because I do believe she knew about this meeting, but I don't know that she was aware of anything to be reporting to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Director, since we do have a situation with the timeline and the statute of limitations, maybe we should schedule a special meeting
Specifically for updates.
for the
Okay.
for the litigation. And by the way, I'd like to ask Commissioner Bishop, Mr. Bill Bishop, if you have any comments you want to make right now?
Just so that Kristen and Sandra know what we're talking about here. There's the memorandum that Mr. Canto wrote to Mr. Toft, that Mr. Toft showed to the commission, making certain assertions about what happened in the Torres estate litigation, several cases that were all quote unquote settled in a confidential settlement agreement 2 years ago that the commission was not even advised of because of supposedly there was a conflict of interest that precluded the Attorney General's office from even telling the commission about any kind of settlement negotiations with the Torres estate. Seems to me pretty obvious that if there actually was even if there actually was a conflict of interest, that the commission at that point should have been assigned its own counsel. Maybe Kristen, you and Sandra could address that, whether you think that this confidential settlement agreement that was done without even any notice to the commission was appropriate at all. I'd like to know, maybe the commission would like to know whether I wonder if Attorney General Camacho was even aware of what was going on. I wonder if he was even apprised of this confidential settlement agreement.
I think everything Mr. Bishop is stating is right on the money. We need to find out just exactly how that came about, and especially under the cover of, you know, the lockdown and the COVID, the pandemic, and there was no even effort to let us know that this was going on. They just took it upon themselves to make that interpretation, I guess.
And for Kristen and Sandra, I sent over to Commission last month or two ago about excerpts from several documents, relevant portions of case filings. It's about 50 pages worth. Has everybody received a copy of that?
It was sent out to the commissioners, Attorney Bischoff. Yes,
Pardon me?
it was forwarded to the commissioners as soon as you
Right,
send
so
it to us.
I'd like to make sure that that's forwarded. I mean, if we're going to have any kind of a discussion with Kristen.
But I'm
and-
not sure if Attorney Tough has informed his replacements in the transition. I'm not aware if he
Yeah,
had
you know,
informed them.
Attorney Toft, you know, I appeared before this commission a year ago, February of last year, and he said that the Torres cases were still with the Guam Supreme Court, and that he would give you an update. And then I appeared again in July, and he pretty much said the same thing, that he'll look into it and tell you. And you know, at that point, it was now 2 years after the settlement, and then they finally come up with this. You know, all these accusations against me, some of them, about what happened here. So I'm pretty concerned about this. You know, Mr. Toft assured us at the last meeting that he just wanted to have some time to prepare and maybe find some documents that would back up the things they've said, and that he would appear at this meeting. And as I understand, 2 days later he resigned. You know, this is getting kind of concerning. This is going on for more than a year now, or well, almost a year since I've been coming to these meetings and asking. So I think, well, what can I say? It's the commission's matter here.
Well, I think we should give the AGs the time to address the matter, and I think I'm sorry, Director.
I can resubmit the documents to Attorney Miller. But the earliest we could have a special meeting because of the requirements of open government law would be on February 22nd, again at 2:30. And it would be specifically on this one issue of updates, legal counsel updates. But Attorney Finney, would that give 2 weeks? It's basically on one specific case that Attorney Bishop was mentioning, but it's quite complicated.
Actually, there were several cases that were dismissed in that settlement agreement. Some of the cases involved lands that were not even federal return lands that had, you know, it's a different basis for recovery in those cases. Some of the cases had lands that were federal return lands that were validly in the commission's inventory. So there were several cases.
Yes. Okay. So there were several. Yeah, you did send me several documents, but I can forward that over to Attorney Miller and Attorney Finney. Attorney Finney, would that be sufficient time if I were to send you those documents today? 2 weeks from now?
It should be.
Okay, thank you. So then again, Mr. Chair, then I would recommend a continuance until February 22nd, 2023 at 2:30. Special meeting of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission, specifically on legal counsel updates, litigations.
Kathy, you had your hands up?
Yes, sir. Mr. Burge, may I recommend that we switch the special meeting date, sir, to March 1st?
Well, I was trying to pay attention to what the chairman said. I understand why you're saying March 1st is because this will be our second meeting of the month, and as far as stipends and compensation is concerned, if we have a meeting on the 22nd, that will be, will not be compensated for that day.
Correct.
So,
And then-
Mr. Chair, it's either the 22nd or the week following on March 1st. The Wednesday of
I
March
think we,
1st.
I think we still have it on the, our time, our timeline is of the essence. So I think the earlier the better.
So
Okay,
then it will be on the 22nd, but I just want the commissioners be aware that they will not receive a stipend for that meeting. That's what I believe Kathy was bringing up.
Are the board members okay? Okay, we're good to go.
I'm fine with
I
that.
like,
We're
okay,
fine.
also, Ash Wednesday.
It's
sorry?
Ash Wednesday,
It's also Ash Wednesday?
but that's not a holiday, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, so we'll, Catholics will have our crosses, ash
Or
crosses
have
on
our
our
crosses.
foreheads. I'll
Okay,
know
and
who
I-
are Catholics now.
I think also, hopefully it ain't gonna take too long on that meeting. I don't think it'll really take too long. I think it'll be, maybe brief, but not so brief, but I think we could handle it within maybe an hour. So we're good to go. I like to, apologize to Mr. Bishop for my statement that we are still in litigation. I thought we were. I'm sorry about that. So if any other questions? Board members, we do have the special meeting on the 22nd, February, Wednesday,
Okay,
same time, Director, 2:30?
Yes, 2:30.
Okay, no further questions? Okay, so just Masi, thank you, Mr. Bishop, for your comments.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna move back to, now we're at item B, which would be the Northern Market.
Yes. We are
Okay,
here.
Buenas, we can see you guys. We can see
I
you
know
now.
we have a problem. My microphone's not working on my computer, so we're talking onto my phone. So you're seeing.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's clear. We can see you guys. It's clear.
All right, thank you.
So there's two
Okay.
people here.
Yeah, it's Carlos and me.
Understood. Understood. Buenas. Buenas both.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, you got the floor.
Carlos?
Well, okay, hold on. I get rid of that phone call. Oh, got it?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna,
Your speaker, you might want to turn down your speaker if you have your speaker on, your computer
hold on.
speaker.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, there we go. Okay, you got it, Carlos? Good.
Yeah, let's do, you can see the,
I'll just turn this. I'll just leave it up.
Yeah, the monitor speaker is a bit too loud.
Yeah, we
Okay,
turned off. We turned off the
we
computer.
turned it off. Okay, we're gonna
Okay.
hit this in two. We're gonna, Mr. Chair and the board members, and Mr. Director, we're gonna hit this in two parts. First of all, I thank you. I've been absent since December, back in my medical leave in Arizona, so I just got back a couple of days ago. So I was just trying to catch up to see where we were on regards to what we've done so far. And yes, Mr. Tony Ariola had advice on again, as we stated, our outstanding deferred and liabilities still there. We never asked for any deferred release, and that we just asked for some type of arrangement of that, which we'll be coming up with a solution on that. But because last time we spoke, if I recall, in late December, we were master planning our use of different tenancy base, and Leonard can speak on who we finally secured as our tenant base, and working our financing so we can finally incorporate all our financial needs and wants to close the I, cross the T's. In the meantime, what we've done is started, I think, as Tony reported, we started to pay our ground rent, at least into Gita. So at least there's some cash flow coming in. And hopefully by that time, we will refocus on who our development plans are, which again, Leonard will speak on who we have so far on sign LOIs that's coming into as our tenant. So we appreciate the many years, starting from the lack of the construction to the then COVID, and then now the high cost of interest and cost of labor. But all that in place, we got a way to keep moving forward and developing our the highest and best use of the property that we know that can happen. So, but we just wanted to show that we are making some small payments in now for now until we finalize our financing, as we talked about several months ago. But now that we got our tenancy base, now we know what our type of financing we're going to need for the type of tenant mix we got, so we can incorporate that in our overall development costs. And Leonard, you can discuss who our tenant base is.
Yeah, so we've been working on this, and to be honest with you, in this past several years, we've never seen such a unusual business time for Guam and for the whole world, right? So we've been working, and it took us a couple of years, but we've been able to secure. We've always been able to have smaller businesses interested, banks and maybe restaurants, but we've been able to get a retailer. And I don't know if you're familiar with the way the retail has been around the world, but a lot of the initial folks that we talked to when we first underwent this project have went away, and now we've secured a retailer out of Japan named Daiso, which is the top 100 yen store in Japan. So we'll be doing that there, and we have a signed LOI with them. They're coming here and they're looking at doing a 10,000 square foot store. That's what we're planning on, and that gives us hope we'll be able to have other retailers around there, smaller ones. But to make a project like this go, you really need an anchor. This would be one of the anchors that we could count on to draw traffic and to develop the project. So yeah, I apologize for all the thing, but like this retailing climate has been very tough. We also have an LOI with Community First Credit Union, King's, Tokyo Mart, Benny Restaurant, Ajisen, and several other smaller restaurants. But the key really component would be the retailer.
The anchor tenant.
The anchor tenant. Now that we have that in place, we'll be able to come up with a program to go forward. So
Community First is the bank now? I know you had a former bank, right? Or was that always been the bank that was going to be an anchor tenant?
We had an LOI with Bank of Guam, and our schedules didn't match up. So then, we were able to work with Community First. So we have them and Kings and this is it's a big project. We're going to have to phase it in certain ways. So we think we're going to do the way it's laying out now in the phase one. We're going to do 2 pads, the Kings and the Community First, and then the retailer and smaller tenants first. So it's it's been a challenge, but we think now with Daiso we'll be able to go. This is a really good project to start going forward now.
And I just want to bear in mind this is Carlos, I'm sorry. It's been many years. We did go, I think we're at 80% permitting, but that was permit based on a master plan from the old development plan, as Leonard described. And at that time we had a different type of mixed commercial use. But now that the tenant base is different, we re-diversified the infrastructure, and but we were 80% signed by all the government agencies. We've already got a utility connection area where GW and GPA had reviewed our supply demand. Everything's, our signal lights all been done there with Camp Bloss Street. All that stuff has been done. We've already done a section 106, which is a federal, what do you call that? Archaeological, I know this is funny because we're not in the beach side, but because originally Camp Watkins or
Camp Weddingale.
Camp Woodingale
Yeah.
had a concrete structure. We had to get and well, this was many years back when we were first delayed. We had to get a historical 106 preservation study done. And I'm glad everything, all that stuff all passed and all that. So we got, again, like I said, all the government agencies have signed off. And of course, then the pandemic came and all the delays, but the only modification we're doing is a phasing in of the infrastructure. The original plan was 100%, but now we're doing it by phasing so we can strategically finance the project so we don't have to keep further delaying our costs to you guys. So whatever we owe and whatever we could get in our phase one, as we discussed several months ago, phase one development, like Leonard described, at that time it was a finance institution, and now we know it's community first. And now with a couple of restaurants, and now Daiso, which are our anchor tenant. Once we get those three major players in, I think the rest of the properties would be easy for us to. We got a lot of demand for smaller retailers, but we wanted some larger anchor tenants so we could cash flow some from our cash flow to make sure it makes sense financially to recover our costs, recover our development, and recover our deferred and liabilities. I hope, Mr. that will make sense.
Okay, is that gonna do it for your update?
We just wanted to give an update that that's where we're at, and we haven't, if we put a sign up there that coming soon to be built, I know we'll have a lot of potential tenants, tenancy base, but we were just doing our indirect shopping to like Daiso, the banks and all that. And once we get that, we'll be putting a big whiteboard around the property with, say, to be built coming soon, and then hopefully the rest of the assets would be demand with people wanting to get up there because of our strategic location, which we know we have a great strategic location.
Okay, awesome. Just real quick, I take it that because of the buildup, that would be a good location for Kings, considering that Kings is already in the area. It's kind of like a little more out of the way for the potential customers there at Route 3. So I guess they will be closing down Kings at that.
We can't speak on behalf of Mr. Alcorn. All we know is that they want to relocate Kings and some of their restaurant assets that's inside the base, and I can't speak because they were just exploring Popeyes and other fast chain restaurants that wants to be out there in the Camp Bloss area. But all I know is Kings so far, Coast 36, Community First, and Daiso, and we had Benny restaurant. Benny's another Japanese restaurant that wants to be there.
And we have an LOI with Tokyo Mart, but it's on a smaller scale.
Tokyo Mart. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So the restaurants are, I think, I want to say they're easy to find, but there's a lot of restaurants I want to relocate up there, especially if you could do drive-throughs or pads. But it's the retailers that are hard. If you can notice the real limited amount of retailers out there in Guam now. There's not many of them, and we had to go out and convince people and sell Guam as a destination to get a company like Daiso to come here and open here. So, it's there's just so many unknowns out there. We looked at a lot of the projects that are going out there. You have Kmart that's teeter-tottering on closing. You have this Don Quixote, which is supposed to open, but is delayed over a year and a half. and who's 3 times, I think 3 times the budget of what they originally set out. I think they're over 100 million on their construction budget. So just a lot of issues out there in the construction development, labor side, and in just so many unknowns. And finally, I think we found a combination that could work.
Sounds good. My
And
last
if you re-
comment would be, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead, Carlos.
No,
Go ahead.
and-
No.
And if you recall, in some of the restaurant pads that we're incorporating, where like Leonard described the drive-through provision, the only reason we're doing that is we're not hoping for, again, pre and post pandemic. We just want to make sure when we build the infrastructure that it's built to accommodate that type of environment, just in case.
Yeah. Drive-through business for most fast food restaurants on Guam is 70% of their business. So, if you don't have a drive-through for the fast food restaurants, you need to, you're really turning your back on a bunch of business. Not to say King's is not going to have a drive-through, but it's going to be a standalone pad where he can do. I think he's doing a nice patio and
Incorporating a
dine in-
patio.
dine in.
incorporating
Yeah, I
patio.
mean that's the whole thing with the pandemic. People needed drive-throughs. People need patios for open air seating, and just because hopefully we don't go back to the pandemic, but they're all just thinking about that now, and so we
Well,
have to be proactive.
That's what I wanted to comment on just real quick, considering that you're right there at the traffic light. If you have 2 or 3 drive-throughs there, I'm imagining like a bottleneck of traffic getting in there and coming out. I'm not sure how close is it again, the property? I think it's just right there by the traffic light, right?
Well, if you look at, there's 2 to 3 ingress there. One is in the Guam Police Department side, the Gura Guam housing side. That's where we're connecting our utilities, our sewer and water, and that is the rights of way. So if we read the
Also,
design,
that's another entrance then going into the development there.
that's great. That's one. The other one is
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
you don't see the signal light, but in our master plan, you see the signalization that's we're connected to the GRMC. We connected to GRMC. So right across us, once you got the new veterans building that Mr. Cabot is finally gonna develop right across us, that also takes him many years, still hasn't finished his development there. If he completes that, that ingress is connected to us in that end of the street. And then you got the Marine Drive one, you got the Marine Drive. So we got 3.
How is that
3
connected
entrances.
how is that connected when it's directly across the street?
I don't have the master plan, but I saw that there
Well,
was
it's just part of the intersection.
intersection, I'm sorry.
So we'll have a signalized entrance to come in out of our site, utilizing the same traffic signal that's in front of GRMC.
Oh,
I can tell you,
Oh, so
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I can tell you this, we do not own the corner lot of this property. So when that corner lot was cleared, I guess during campaign time, somebody cleared it, if you guys remember. It was like cleared. Everybody thought we were already moving dirt, and man, we were getting a lot of traction, a lot of smaller operators. Hey, we want to move. Are you guys, what are you guys renting it for? So that's why we know once we do the announcement there with our big billboards, we know that we will definitely get some teeth and bites and requests.
very good. Thank you. I'd like to get the board members now to, if you have any questions.
Yes, I
Okay,
have
Commissioner
questions.
Commissioner Wessing?
Hi, Mr. Camacho, Mr. Calvo,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you very much for coming today. We appreciate your presence here and your update. But truth be told, I was really expecting and hoping for something much more substantial. We acknowledge as a board the challenges that everyone in business on Guam has been faced with. As you mentioned, from even prior to the pandemic, which just really, just increased the challenges and the difficulties. But yes, we have for a while, for some time here, labor shortages, labor costs, and things of that nature. We as a commission have really, I feel, since I came on as a board member, have really, been the rah-rah crowd for the northern market, all these years, in extending, extensions, allowing deferment of payments. And we as a commission have come under criticism from, as you know, the from companies that audit to being mentioned in Candid News, and I think even the office of the help me director, where this deferment that we have allowed Northern Market, office of something. I'm real sorry that I'm not spitting it out, but we've come under scrutiny and criticism for the actions that we did. Now, the last time that Attorney Calvo came before the board, she indicated that there was loan applications in the process, and that it looked like we would be expecting a payment, if memory serves me right. Please correct me, board members, if I'm not remembering this correctly, that there would be a substantial payment made early this year, so January, February, and if memory serves me right, it was to the tune of almost $1 million. Board members, do you recall the same thing? Anybody?
Yep.
Yes, you are correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes, you are correct, Commissioner. And the agency was the Office of the Public Auditor. We've
Thank
come
you.
under their scrutiny.
Okay, thank you, Director Burke. So we are moving into the middle of February, and I haven't heard anything more on the status of that. Because I remember as a board member that we were excited, and our level of confidence was raised when we heard this, but I'm not hearing that discussion here today. And while I am truly happy for you of the prospective tenants that you have that are looking to and interested in the northern market, we have a bunch of stakeholders of whom we have to answer to, and at this point, I feel as though, because everything has been verbal up to this point, we have requested for written proposals, written updates, and we have not received anything like that. And so gentlemen, I would really like to know more to really bolster, my confidence and my desire to continue to rah behind you guys in getting this done, because we recognize how long this has been going on and the work that you've put into it. But at the same time, I think you both know, as landlords, if a tenant doesn't pay and they don't provide some kind of proposal payment with backed up data, that after a while, your confidence in their ability to pay and to uphold their promises, starts to wane. Right?
Correct. We will have a proposal out to you now that things have firmed up here with our tenancy. So honestly, we can't say what it is today, but I would maybe by the end of the month, we'll have a proposal out. We'll work with Gita to put together a proposal that could satisfy you as the board and the land ownership. So we'll talk to them and we'll work it out now that we have some of the parameters. And appreciate your patience. And I'm a landlord here, I'm a developer, and I understand your challenges and appreciate it, but I also haven't seen these kind of conditions on Guam, and it's even though it is a landlord's market, an existing landlord's market, because you know, as a landlord, our spaces are filling up on Guam, and it's because nobody's building because cost is too high. So the inventory is low, and you'd think that would be good and that would spur a lot more development on Guam. But because of the construction cost and the other conditions, everything, and so, you know, I see it and I'm working, but I know you can appreciate it, is that we are working hard and fast to figure this out, and we appreciate. So just we will come up with a proposal that hopefully it works for you, but we are working on it every day, and being creative and just trying to find solutions so everybody gets satisfied.
Okay, and Mr. Calvo, I do. First of all, thank you very much for letting us know that you will work on a written proposal, and we look forward to receiving that at the end of the month. And we do acknowledge the challenges. Those of us who are in business and those of us who are landlords, we know the challenges that there are. But I think at the same time, you can acknowledge too the patience that the commission has also extended to you. I guess before I close, so back to what Attorney Calvo had presented to us a couple of months ago, are we still able? I mean, is that still forthcoming? What she proposed, what she presented as a substantial lump sum payment, or is that off the table?
This is Carlos. Well, now that we have our tenant mix, based on the tenant mix and our development costs, again, with our infrastructure costs and our cost of construction, we're going to incorporate as much of our financing in our phase one financing as possible, so it's still cash flows and we're still able to get the financing. And then from there, I don't want to say the number's 2 today, and it comes up to 1.5. So now that we got who our tenant base is, what our costs, we've already got updated costs of infrastructure. Now we're just getting the cost of our white goods. We call it the white goods, so we know what our box cost is going to be. Then we'll know what we can layer in on our development costs, so we can get some money back to you guys.
Okay, Mr. Camacho, will that information and the timeline for that completion of that financing be included in your report at the end of the month?
Probably,
We could do that, and yes.
Okay, as to when we can expect the payment that Attorney Calvo alluded to a few months ago?
Payment or some type of solution, because it's going to be a hybrid phase 1, phase 2 financing. Does that make sense?
A little bit. So it's basically
now whatever phase 1 could absorb is what we could afford, and then phase 2 can come in. You know, it's to be a timing matter.
Okay,
it's a timing matter.
You'll have that amount in the end of month report.
Yes, the solution. Yes.
Okay, solution and an amount.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time and
thank
you
you
being here today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any further comments? Any from the commissioners? Carlos and Mr. Calvo, si Jus Masia, I'd like to let you know that the board echoes practically all of the comments by Commissioner Wessling. Of course, we have a fiduciary duty to the trust, and we understand, notwithstanding the conditions, the COVID, the pandemic, the workers, the labor force, recessions and the bad economic, we understand, we do understand the situation, because we would not have granted those extensions throughout the years if we didn't see that everything you were stating is factual. And then we had Gita basically assuring us that that's the situation. So we do want you to succeed. We do want you to succeed. We thank you for coming to the board and giving us the update. But we're at that point, right, where we where it's kind of very not real critical, but we're at that point where we have to really consider our fiduciary duty to the trust. But we look forward to your report and your solutions. I'd like to thank Commissioner Wessling for your comments. But I want to assure you that the board kind of echoes her statement. So thank you, Carlos. We wish you guys, success in this. So just Marcy, unless you have anything to say?
No, Mr. Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so just Marcy. Take care.
Bye. Okay, you too. Bye.
Okay, we move down to item number 7, new business, a farmer's market.
Okay, Mr. Chair, supposedly that the president of the Farmers Co-op is to be here. I see, oh, there they are. I see, I just saw the name Katrina Regis. So the officers of the Farmers Co-op are here, I guess, to answer any questions that, or maybe to submit a request to the Board of Commissioners. They did ask way back to meet with you, so they're on the agenda. Mr.
Okay.
Uggan, right? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Uggan, yeah, okay. I was going to say, now's your opportunity to speak with the board.
Okay, half a day, Mr. Chair, thank you for allowing us to join your meeting as well as your board. My name is Michael Uggan. I'm the president for the Guam Farmers Cooperative Association. I'm here with Katrina Regis. She's the one that works with all the financials in our co-op. And we're just here to see if there's anything that we can work out with you guys. We did submit our 2021 financial statements, and I'm pretty sure you guys received that. And I'm sure you saw the bottom line there didn't look too good. I know we owe you guys some money, and we just want to see if there's any way we can work something out.
Okay. Board members? Questions?
I have a question. I have a
Okay,
question.
Commissioner Cruz? Commissioner Cruz?
What is, does he have a plan on how to pay, the arrears? Does he want us to make a payment plan, or?
I guess Commissioner Cruz is asking you a direct question about, what's your solution or what are you offering?
Yes, well, okay, at least according to the figures that we provided, we owe like $4,821.32, I believe is the correct figure. And we're here, I wasn't aware that others that would deal with you guys also work out payment plans and other things like that. So that was something we were thinking of asking you guys to help us with, but now that we heard of some of your earlier individuals there talking, we would like to see if we can figure out some kind of payment plan. We haven't worked on any exact numbers, but at the very least, we will be able to make a payment of 50% maybe of that total. And then if we can work out payments for the remainder of it, is that something that we can do here?
Okay, what's the timeline that you think to complete the?
I think we can do 6 months if that's not too much, or if it's doable for you guys.
6 months. So
Yes,
you're gonna make monthly payments,
Yes, sir.
or you're proposing to put down half and then monthly payments.
Yes, that's correct.
Board? Discussion? Comments?
Chairman.
Commissioner Wesley,
Commissioner-
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Wrestling here. Thank you. Mr. Uggan
Yes, ma'am.
and Ms. Regis, thank you very much for coming here today. You know, I would recommend that if there is an installment or a payment plan that the Farmers Co-op would like to, for the board to, for the commission to consider, that you please put it in writing to us with all the details as to the amounts that you can come up with, the timeline, and also show us where you anticipate the income to be coming from. And then submit it to the board for review and consideration.
We could put that together.
Commissioners, does anybody else have anything to share or add?
I think
I
that's a good suggestion, Commissioner Wessling. We'll take it under advisement, but Commissioner Rios, you got your hands up.
Yeah, I just, I wanted to agree with Commissioner Westling on that as well. You know, judging by the financials, maybe I wouldn't like them to make an arrangement they couldn't fulfill. So it would be nice to go back and have a look at your financials and come up with a plan that works, you know, for the co-op. We want to see this work. We don't want to see this fail. So I'd like to, you know, maybe take some time. That's a good idea, Commissioner Westling, to go back and discuss with the group and come up with a plan that's not going to hurt your mission. So, you know, if it's 6 months you need, then great. If the requires, you think you need a little bit more time, you're right. You know, we're here we obviously are working with other tenants. Why should we not work with you? You got a great mission going on. So I'd like to suggest that as well. Thank you, Commissioner Wesley. And thank you very much for presenting and coming forward with us. We appreciate that.
And thank you too, because we really appreciate that. We work
Any other
hard too.
comments? Any other comments? Okay, Commissioner Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I agree. Louisa, that's a good request. I just want to make sure too that maybe legal counsel can make sure that we're all within because this agreement was made by law, correct? So I just want to make sure that the board doesn't overstep any boundaries as well, just to include that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Commissioner, I know we've gone over this in the past with Attorney Tuff, and I think setting up a payment plan would be still within the law as long as we do get paid. Apparently, the law provides for how much they're going to pay, and we came to an agreement on that. I think now what they're trying to do is to come good with that and make the payment. The next calendar year financial statement should be due to us in May, and that will be for last calendar year, 2022. And so we don't want to get them all bogged down in paying. So I think that, yeah, I believe that we're well within our rights to make a decision like that, that Commissioner Weston did agree to. Yeah.
Okay,
I have a
continue.
question though.
Continue.
Go ahead. So Mr. Director Birch.
Yes.
So I believe we're talking about 2020 period 2021.
Yes, calendar year 21. They work on
And then,
calendar.
right. And then it doesn't say whether or not it has to be paid over a year's time, or it could be paid in 2 years or 3 years down the road. Is
Not
that
specifically, right. It's pretty much to be paid. How it's to be paid will be up to the commission. And it should be paid supposedly before the next calendar year is due. But yes, the amount specifically is $4,822.32 that they owe for calendar year 2021. So
Right.
now the Farmers Co-op is making a proposal to pay 50% down and the remainder within 6 months. And Commissioner Wessling asked that they place that in writing to the board. And and of course, Commissioner Rios made the understanding that they should make sure that the payments are made within their means. We
Right.
don't want them to go bankrupt. We want to actually help the Farmers Co-op. You know, they're there by law, but then we're still
Right.
the landlords. Yes.
So then now 2022
That statement,
financials are due.
they're due in May. And after they're
Right.
due in May, then we will figure out how much they owe us for last calendar year. And then
that's
again, the
kind of-
amount, we could again work out another payment plan.
All right, yeah, I mean, let's see what they
Yeah,
propose.
I see
and
this. Yeah, I
just go
see this
from
as a good faith offer on their part. So I agree that, and I recommend that we move forward with it with the commissioners. I'm not sure if you need to take a vote on it,
No,
or
actually,
we're gonna wait for the actual plan to be in
yeah.
writing.
yeah, we'll wait for their in writing, based off Commissioner Westling's comments.
Okay,
But I would like to stress to the make it clear with the Farmers Co-op that yes, you heard testimony and you heard some of the cases that we've had, but you know, we've got big slack over a lot of those arrears, and it's not, you know, at the time those were specific case situations that was beyond, you know, there was a lot of because a lot of those too were government agencies, but now it's come to a head with the public auditor, and we cannot the red marks on our reports are coming now. It's coming to a head. So we're extending or granting these. We kind of like learn from our mistakes, and we do have a very we have a fiduciary duty to the trust. And it's not that we don't want to help people, but we cannot, compromise the fiduciary to the trust no matter what. So that's we took that off and we stand by it. So we want to help you out. We want to see you succeed, but at the same time, we can't. We learn from mistakes. We can't sacrifice our fiduciary duty to the board. So that's just the way it is. If we're going to choose between you and the trust, of course we're going to choose the trust, and then we have to move with whatever we need to move with. So we will take it under advisement. We'd like to see your letter. Okay. And so Jus Masi for coming. If you have any final thoughts, anybody? And you, Mr. Regis?
Sir, I do understand what you just said, everything there. I do remember the last time we talked, those same sentiments were there regarding the other. And
Yes.
I completely agree and understand with that. What I meant when I was saying that actually is that we didn't know that you guys could accept some kind of payment thing, and we were just worried about that. And we just came up with that idea on our own to ask. And then when we heard you guys talking earlier, we're like, oh shoot, they can work out something. So that kind of gave us hope, if you will. You know,
Yeah.
like you can see from our thing that we're not a big operation, and you know, we struggle to make the daily thing, but we are pushing forward. We have lots of new wholesale customers, like big ones have come in the last few months, and we're moving forward. So we're hoping things start to pick up, like you said, after this COVID and everything else. Hopefully down the road we will have a better outlook going forward. And then we won't have to do this so often.
Assuming that that the board accepts your letter, your proposal, how soon can you make that first payment? I mean the half payment?
Well, we'll be gone for the rest of February mostly. So maybe by March we'll make that 50% payment when we get back. And then we can work out the schedule after that.
Okay, is that maybe, or is that? That's
No,
iffy.
we
Sounds
can.
iffy to me.
No, we can make the payment by March, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
So
yeah.
okay, so Jus Masi, and we'll take it under advisement. We'll be looking for the letter. We'll be looking forward to your letter.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Agamas.
the time for your board to listen to our concerns too. Thank you so much.
Just Posse for coming in.
Okay, Hoglo.
No further questions, board members? No further questions? Okay, thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, Tony, you had your hands up? No, you're just saying,
No, I wanted to just thank Chief Mike.
Okay.
Okay.
okay, that's that. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna move down to B, which is DPHSS WIC MOU and license agreement.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody. I wasn't notified if anyone from the Department of Public Health and Social Services WIC program is here. Is there anyone on here from there? Okay, I guess I'll handle this then to inform you of what's occurring. We were informed by Gita, this is all verbal, nothing in writing as of this time, that the Department of Public Health and Social Services is interested in renewing their MOU, their Memorandum of Understanding between Ancestral Lands and Department of Public Health. The MOU provides an option for annual renewal upon mutual consent, not to exceed 5 years. And going on, basically the Department of Public Health, the WIC program is the Guam Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infant, and children's. It currently leases from Ancestral Lands a portion of lot number 2276, consisting of building number 15-6100, including an adjacent old concrete utility building and a parking lot of approximately 8,000 square feet.
I'm sorry, Director. Is that or do we have that in the documents here? I'm just not finding it.
No, I can send you this. I was hoping that WIC would be on with us today. I was requesting that they be here also with a plan to bring their arrears up to date, but I don't see them here. So I'll just give you a brief on what we're dealing with. But from what Gita reported earlier, is that WIC informed us again verbally, not in writing, and hopefully we'll get it in writing, that their outstanding balance right now is $54,000 plus, and they're planning to pay us $42,000, leaving about $12,000 in arrear. So they're bringing their account up to date rather quickly, and hopefully they'll bring it up where they will have no more arrears. So my request to them that they bring in a business plan to resolve the issues of the arrears may be mute should they ever come before us. But in brief, basically, their MOU is going to expire on April, the end of April, April 30. And based on the MOU, they are to inform the commission no later than 60 days prior to the expiration, should they, in writing, they have to respond in writing to inform us that if they are interested in renewing the MOU. They did inform us through Gita verbally that that's what they want, but they're having difficulties getting the MOU, the request in writing, or they have not been able to get that going. But I need you to know that this is the WIC program. They have 8,000 square feet of building up there. We have a parking lot and an additional building. We have 2 documents on file. One is a lease for 10 years. It's a license agreement executed in 2015. And we also have an MOU, which was executed in 2018. Now, I've looked at, my assessment is that basically the license agreement is a contract, but based on their procurement laws and what we have practiced is that the contract is not enforceable until it has all signatures. That contract does not have the Attorney General's signature on it, nor does it have the governor's. So I am assuming, and I hope Attorney Finney would chime in later on this, that the MOU is what we have as a contract, and it would supersede the license, because the MOU has all the signatures that are required by Guam's procurement law. The license does not have that, because typically an MOU to me is not necessarily a binding, legally binding, but it can be made such. And the way this MOU is written, to me, it seems to be a binding contract agreement. So my question, I guess, to Attorney Finney was, does the MOU of 2018 supersede the license agreement of 2015? And I've worked on license agreements since I've been here and leases. I've never worked on an MOU for rental of property or a building. So I'm not sure if I'm to recommend to you to extend the MOU or to negotiate a license agreement with them. And we could draft something up real quick using the MOU as a template. But the requirements are with the current MOU is that it be, they send us in writing within no later than 60 days before its expiration. That gives them a drop dead deadline of March 1st to get that letter to us. And it could be, according to MOU, via email. And the other thing is, it also states that it should be at fair market value. And in the MOU and the license agreement, both state that the appraisal will be paid for by the Department of Public Health. So there are several things in that. And I was hoping to have them here to discuss that and work that out. But until we get the actual letter from them stating that this is what they wish, it's still up in the air. And I sure hate to go through an eviction notice for the WIC program and put them out. I don't believe because that they have anywhere else to move to, knowing that they have yet to build a new building, and the building they used to house in, well, the one they could have moved into in Manila, apparently went up in flames. So I'm giving you the heads up that this is coming our way. And I expect that the Department of Public Health will be giving us a notice of their written notice of their interest in renewing the MOU. So I guess Attorney Finney, if you could chime in now on, is the MOU a contract, and should we recommend to the board, should we get this? Because it will be before our next meeting when their timeline expires. Their timeline expires. Yeah. So if you can answer that, thanks.
Yeah, so I haven't fully reviewed all of those documents, but my thought is that it's an MOU because it's because they're another government agency, and that they're they're not autonomous or anything, and so they're just, it's all under the government, and so you can't really lease to yourself. So I think that's why it's an MOU.
Okay, so we would recommend then to extend the MOU and not work on a license. So that's what they're verbally asked, if they could do that. And they were asking for 5 years, which is the maximum, I guess, we can do so. So that's coming our way. And this is just a heads up. So thank you, Attorney Finney. So I see that, because I was kind of confused on why we had a license agreement on file and an MOU for the same place from the same group. But I noticed the license agreement was missing a few signatures that we normally require. So it was basically to give the board that heads up that we should be getting that soon. And I would like public health, at least, well, for Gita now to inform public health that that's what we require. And also I'm unsure of the position that the board would of commissioners would take on the appraisal. I know what we did with Matson, and it would be similar to that if you were to do that again. But then again, it's a government agency, and they're having difficulty right now catching up with their rental payments, and hopefully they will catch up with that. But that's something we'd have to take into consideration. So this is basically a heads up on that particular issue, and we'll carry it into the agenda of the next meeting. We'll continue. I recommend we continue it again because this issue, this item will be before us very soon.
Yes, yes, for sure, Director. Excellent. Yes.
So based on what Attorney
Oh,
Finney said, their rent or their lease or the MOU expires April 30.
Okay, so you're going to send us the documents?
I'll send you the documents so that you could read through it. And
Okay.
I recommend that Gita do the same. I could share the documents I have with Gita.
And can you outline, certain areas that we need to pay specific attention to.
Okay, what I could do is outline it or highlight it.
Like highlight it, yeah, specific, yeah.
And that
just
way you
highlight
could look
the
at that.
specific-
Great.
Yeah,
I'll take care of that. I'll send it out by tomorrow.
okay,
And
very
I'll be
good.
working, yeah, at the same time, I'm working on the issue with, of course, like earlier with Raymond James and BGIS. So that when you come down here, Mr. Chair and Secretary Treasurer, I have all the documents for you to sign.
Okay, very
So,
good.
yes, but now you're aware of this. I just don't want us to run into any problems dealing with public health. The WIC program we know it's a very good program. It does help out a lot of young people, young couples, and especially our children out there. And they're doing their best. I could see from what Gita's report was given earlier, they brought down the arrears, and it looks like the arrears would be brought down to at least $12,000 and closing. I'm hoping that we'll be able to do the same with the Guam EPA. So we'll attempt that one soon. And it seems like we have a positive response from Northern Market and others, and also from the Farmers Co-op. So that's all I have to report on the public health WIC program and their lease MOU.
Thank you, Director. Any questions, board? I'd like to address something real quick with Gita, Tony.
Sure, go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, regarding the Farmers Co-op, are they receiving ARP funds? Have they received ARP funds?
I would have to, I'm not sure about that. I would have.
Can
to
you
check.
can you verify if they're receiving ARP funds, and can you verify other revenues they're receiving, the total amount of revenue, not just from the farm or from the farmer side, whatever, their financials showing that, their income from all aspects of what's happening there?
Sure, I'll get back to you on that.
Because it looks like maybe they're trying to get, in order, but you can tell that they have questionable practices in in what they're doing and how they've been running their, it looks like they're trying to get back in order, but they got to give you, our property manager, the full financials of the total income they're making, not just from the farm, the farmer side. So can you get confirm financials?
Sure. So just to clarify, you want me to verify if they had received ARPA funds?
Yes, ARP and whatever other outside, revenue.
Sure. We'll do, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, or even grants, or any grants.
Sure.
So just must say, Tony. Any other questions? Okay. Let's move to public comments.
Mr. Chair, I did not receive any requests for public comments.
Okay, very good. Our next board meeting is going to be on a special meeting, February 22nd, 2:30
Yes.
p.m. Correct, Director?
Correct.
Our special meeting, it's one subject, of course, our that litigation case with
Yes.
Taurus.
And our regular meeting will be, of course, the second Wednesday of March. And that would be on March 8 at 2:30
March
p.m.
8. Okay,
If that's good with the commissioners.
yes, very good. March
That's,
8, everybody.
Wait, check March 8, or is that March 6? Check if that's Magellan Day. Is that correct? No. I think that's historic day. You gotta check it.
No, March 6th.
March
6th is
5th?
a holiday.
March 5th is holiday.
No, March 6th, Monday, March 6th.
March 5th
Okay.
or 4th?
6th, site.
Nice.
March 6th, 5/6, and it's a Monday. That is Guam history and
Okay.
Yes.
Memorial Day.
Okay, So we're still good
Commissioner
for the
Westling's
8th.
correct.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Vice Chair?
Yeah,
Labuani?
you know, Mr. Birch,
Yes.
what is the deadline for the Taurus case that we were trying to meet the
This-
deadline?
The statute of limitations, you mean?
Yeah,
It was, I believe it's July of this year. And because of that, you know, we're going to have some difficulty on working with that, but we're trying. So I've already collected the documents. Once we're done with the meeting, I'll send it off to Attorney Finney and Attorney Miller. I already
Well,
have
we
it on
wanna-
my computer.
It'll be nice if we can find some way to at least file something so that while we're trying to figure out whether, you know, where we're at, so that we have time
Yeah.
and without having to rush something. So maybe on our,
Yeah.
on our meeting, we might be able to
On-
see if there's a solution to file
Yes.
something. So
On
it makes
February
sense.
22nd, we could ask our attorney that.
Yeah.
Because they would be the one to file for us.
Yeah.
And that was the problem is having with Nick and Canto leaving all at this crucial time.
At least so we can get our bearings straight on what's happening, what's going on with it, because it's just.
Yeah. Because
It's
I
just
remember I did ask Attorney Tough, and it's on records and within the minutes, what recourses do I have? And his response was none. But I wasn't satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Therefore,
same
I
here.
wrote him several questions, and I'll present the same 3 questions again to Attorney Finney and Attorney Miller.
It was more or less, hey, let's take this as a learning experience on something that lasted us years. and
Yes,
years.
and
A
I
learning
wasn't.
experience. Holy smokes.
I admit I wasn't happy with that response. But nonetheless, if we're to appeal, we need an attorney to do that. So I will forward that to our attorneys now, and
At
hopefully,
least so that we don't, we mitigate that the statute of limitations situation, so that we can get our
Yes.
bearings straight on what's
yeah,
going on.
there's a 3-year statute, so that's coming up real fast at us. And the sad thing is we weren't notified that an agreement was made. We weren't even part of it. So
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair?
Yeah,
Vice Chair?
if through my understanding, correct me, Attorney Finney. I not just with that fact of the matter that we were not notified, I think we can submit a request for a stay to the judge on the matter for that, because we are supposedly part of that case, and we
Litigation.
were just left out. So is that a legal authority that we can do, file a stay? Is that what it's called?
I really don't have any information about the status or anything to be able to advise you about whether or not you can file a stay. If the matter is already concluded, then there's nothing to stay, just speaking generally, but you know, but I really don't know again anything about the status, so I'm really sorry. I can't comment on that.
Well, hopefully on the special meeting, Miller will have some some information regarding
and-
it.
Well, that's what we could hope for. I agree with Attorney Finney. Until I send her the documents that I have, they will not be able to say anything on it. But
And
my assessment,
outside, yeah.
you know, I'm not an attorney, but my assessment was that the quotes that Attorney Canto gave us was based on another case. I believe he quoted the wrong case when he said that they were considering us to be defendants and not plaintiffs. And we were all this time thinking that we were involved as plaintiffs in here. So they dismissed the case based on that. And we weren't informed because of that position. So that was my assessment of it when I looked at the case numbers. The quotes that it came with came from another case and not from the one that he listed. So we'll see how that works out on the 22nd. It's something that we could talk about and debate.
I
I'm not an
recall the
attorney
record-
and I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
If I recall, Director, it was dismissed with prejudice. If
Well-
I'm accurate, it was dismissed with prejudice.
Okay,
Meaning
so
we can still, meaning we
No,
can
that
still.
means supposedly you cannot go back. If it's without prejudice, you can go ahead and come back in, but that's why,
I don't remember that part, but if it was, well, Attorney Toff said we had no recourse. That's what I do remember, and I felt really bad about that we weren't informed of this. And it was about that time when that happened. It was when I was assigned to ancestral land. So, and the board wasn't even in place. We only had one employee. So that was a bad timing for us from the Attorney General's office to do that without informing us. And yes, it was during the lockdown at the very beginning of pretty much the pandemic. So we'll see what we have. We'll give Attorney Finney and Attorney Miller time to look at it, and I'll send them the documents I have, and they might have more available to them up at the AG's office. But
yeah, I'm considering it was done on a lockdown, on a pandemic.
it
lockdown.
was,
There's
yeah.
There's already a red flag right there. You know,
Well, at that time, you did not have a director. You had one employee and you had two board members. That was
yeah,
basically
exactly. And
So-
we're in a lockdown pandemic.
Exactly, we're on a lockdown. So those are just bad times for everyone, and we may have taken a hit for it. Hopefully not. Hopefully we have some recourse, but when we did find out, then we looked at if there's statute of limitations. There's like 3 years, if I'm right, but if I'm wrong, then there is nothing available to us. But if I'm right, we have to July.
And whether there's other options like the claims of interest that we can do, land management or liens or whatever. I don't know if that's even in the picture, but at least we'll clarify it on our special meeting.
Yeah, and that's why we're moving forward on this thing, and hopefully we resolve it. We know if we can resolve anything to our satisfaction or not. Hopefully we can come up with that on the 22nd.
Okay, let's if no further questions, let's it's already 4:30 p.m. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I motion that we adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Si Jules Mase, everybody. It was a very productive meeting today. Thank you so much, Director, staff. Si Jules Mase, everybody be safe. See you in
Thank
the
you.
special meeting.
Bye-bye.